Hi, this is the Utah Defender. I want to talk briefly about what's going on in Ogden, and then also something else that I discovered about the Chase Allan murder. Ogden's getting out of hand. There was a young man not too far back that was beaten in the street by the police officers that used excessive force, and their stupid ass chief, Young, says it was a good beating, okay? And now we have a 65-year-old man that's coming out of his own property, 65 years of age. He's 10 years younger than I am. And the Ogden police throw him down on the ground because he's mad because they had no business coming up to him. And they throw him on the ground. I believe they ruined or damaged his rotator cuff, and you should see the pictures. He's black and blue all over his body. There's a damn problem in Ogden, ladies and gentlemen. And it just goes along with the shootings that have occurred up there. And later on, I'm going to expose about harassment of a woman that the Ogden Police Department and the Sheriff Department have been harassing this lady. And I went in to ask, there's a tyrant of a sergeant up there. His name is Fisher. The last time I went in, he was checked. He checked himself. But I'm here to tell you that this guy is unhinged when we first went in there. He didn't like us talking to people. Who in the hell is he to tell me I can't talk to people that are out in the foyer area? That's how tyrannical they are. Hey, if you don't know it, Fisher, I'm 75 years of age. I served our country for 20 years. I have a doctorate's degree. I raised 3 children, and I don't need the likes of you or your stupid police department telling me what to do. How's that, butthead? So you people in Ogden have a real problem. Ever since I first discovered Mercado being shot to death, and the sorry thing about Mercado being shot to death by Ogden Police Department was the fact that every one of the son of a bitches that showed up had a taser on their side. They just love shooting the hell out of us in Utah. I'm telling you, you people need to start demonstrating in front of Ogden Police Department and get the news media out there because they've gone off half-cocked. And you need to kick the Chief Young's ass out of that thing and get somebody in there that's going to bring these officers in line and respect the rights of the citizens. Go ahead, Google about Ogden and an elderly man, 65 years of age. KUTV posted that. They don't care how old you are. You talk back to them, these little whippersnappers, these little punks that only get like maybe 1 month of law. I've had a whole year of law studying in school. And these guys are going to tell me what to do? And they're not cordial or kind? Ogden, wake up. And another thing that I want to talk about. I talked about the Chase Allan murder, and I've got some new insight, and I got to tell you about it. You'll watch the videos, and you see, and I want to mention his name, Sergeant Taylor Jacobsen. You see, they give him an order to get out of the car, or we're going to break your window. And he opens the door up, and during this quick movement, Butcher sees the holster down in his lap. He never tells him to raise his hands or pull his gun out because their whole intent was to murder Chase Allan. And so he tries to get out of the car, and I'll tell you the reason why Sergeant Taylor Jacobsen pushed him back in the car. They could not afford to have him get out of that car. Not because he had a gun in his hand, but for the fact he did not have a gun in his hand. They didn't want you to see that he didn't have a gun in his hand. And again, the gun the whole time was between the seat and the center console. That never came out. I proved in a video they were searching for it after they pulled him out. And you know, they said twice over their dispatch things, turn your cameras off. Do you know that you can collect more information of a bad shooting right after the shooting takes place? And they were given orders to turn the cameras off 6 minutes after, because then they could collect evidence against them. They knew this was a murder. That's why they gave that order. It's reasonable doubt. You can't say that Chase Allan pulled out his gun, because when they pulled his body out, I've already proved where they said there was a gun, there was no gun. It's empty there. There's no gun there. And only dumbass bootlickers are telling me, oh, there's a gun there. I can see the outline of it. You're only seeing stuff. I'm going to tell you once again that the way I know that Chase Allan never pulled out a gun was because of Heavenly Father. And yesterday, I received the same prompting. The reason why Taylor Jacobsen pushed Chase Allan back in the vehicle was so that you would not see that he didn't have a gun when he got out of the car. Because the whole reason for the stop was to murder him. So if he stood up and got out of the car, you'd see no gun in his hands, and their whole mission would have gone to hell, which was their intent to kill him. And again, the dispatch calls that took place, and my dog's angry about it too again, but the dispatch calls prove that they were hunting the family in the street. They probably had a GPS on the car because we can't find the car. Think about that. The reason why Chase Allan was not allowed to get out of the car, he already undid his seatbelt. We showed where his foot's on the ground. He's trying to get out. But Taylor Jacobsen goes, oh, no, he can't get out of the car because then they'll show that he doesn't got a gun in his hands. And no body camera of those police officers ever picked up a gun. And I'll tell you, if there was a gun, they would have had a body cam that would have shown it, but there wasn't one. These little immaterial facts are now huge in monumental, I don't know how to say it, are huge. Because they tell you that this kid was killed. Everything I've told you, and the dumbass Troy Rollins, the district attorney of Davis County, uses the gun as the reason for them to murder him. And he says just because he didn't pull a gun out and point it at him, he had a control of the gun, they had the right to murder him. That's bullshit. You want that guy being your district attorney when he writes crap like that? His ass needs to be kicked out. He needs to be kicked out of Utah. In fact, he's part of the conspiracy. And all these guys, just like when John Karlinchowski had Chase Allan arrested without a warrant, just because he was pissed off at the family and he hates sovereign citizens. And there's letters where people would send him saying, hey, I found you a constitutionalist, a sovereign citizen. This new evidence is huge. Why Sergeant Taylor Jacobsen pushed Chase Allan back in the car, because they knew if he stood up, he would have no gun, and they couldn't shoot him. All these guys, without anybody on site saying, okay, guys, circle around the car, make sure you're not in crossfire, put your guns on, because they all had their gun, they all put their guns on as soon as they showed up. I mean, their gloves. And then they position themselves. They practice this. There is no doubt in my mind this was an orchestrated practice murder of Chase Allan. Everything points to it. Everything points to it. The dispatch calls that the chief said never happened. I'm right behind you, which I think might have been Chen. Oh, I'm 15 minutes out. They were watching on a GPS this kid driving up to the post office. And then also Butcher says, anybody else in the car? Why do you say that? And Chase Allan in the videos goes, well, that's peculiar. Why are you asking that? It's because they didn't want to murder anybody else, and they didn't want any witnesses in that car. Everything points All the evidence points to a planned murder. Yeah, in our own county. And that's why the FBI, and so everybody knows, I've written the special agent in charge of FBI in Salt Lake City. And they better answer the letter, and they better do an investigation. And I also sent the same request to the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. You people have to help me. You gotta do the same thing. You gotta write the agent in charge. If you just ask for it, it's a female. I can't remember her name, but you gotta write her and tell her you want this investigated. Because what they're doing, this internal investigation is not going to say anything of the evidence that I'm telling you. That John Karlinchowski falsely arrested him in the court without a warrant, and we have a sheriff that told us there was no warrant. What do you think of that, Judge, huh? That's why I want him relieved. And then for the district attorney to rubber stamp the findings of the OICI investigation. And also, I want to tell you, Davis County is doing everything they can. The records office down there, McKinsey, and everybody in it are trying to stop me from getting information. I can't ask a question. They say, oh, we can only get you records. Who am I going to ask any questions? These people are all against citizens finding out the truth. But I'm going to tell you right now, the truth is going to prevail. The truth is going to come out. And I'm going to announce it right now. We're shooting for March 1st to have a huge demonstration against the Farmington Police and the Justice Center, the two judges. We want them impeached. We want them removed down in Davis County, in the Davis County Justice Center. I don't care if you guys in the law enforcement know about it. It's our right to do that. Now you're put on report. Now you know what the hell's going on. We're coming after you. The people are coming after you. And I want to bring up the fact that the Allan family had to write declarations so that if they ended up dead, that it wasn't because of natural causes or suicide. And I'm going to tell you the same thing about me. I had an incident where I went down. I had to talk to Justin Butcher. And I could tell when Taylor Jacobsen was there, he said, you cross that line, I'm going to arrest you. And I felt he was going to pull his gun out and shoot me. And then he had 3 other officers come, code 3, one of which was Butcher. These guys are terrible people. They're evil. And the only thing I want to say, and I know, Chief, I'm going to talk directly to you because you're a horse's ass. I've been down to your place every time out. Last time I came in, I said, you're intimidating me. And you go, I'm intimidating you? Like I was afraid of you, or because you were intimidating me? How could I possibly you were intimidating me? That you were this big kingpin that I should be afraid of. Well, let me tell you, horse's ass, I went through officers candidate school, through the Ranger Committee training. I went through Special Forces training, and you can't even one tensilla intimidate anybody like they did. So I'm intimidated proof. When you officers come up to me, I'm not intimidated at all. And you're a horse's ass, and you're evil, and I'm coming after your job. And also for you, the district attorney, Troy Rollins, I'm coming after your job. And John Karlinchowski, you better just pack up your bags and get your ass out of Utah because we're coming after you. You're a terrible human being. A judge who unlawfully uses, what was the sheriff department, the brown shoots, jackboot? We call them jackboot thugs. They've turned into that because of you dumbass. You people are terrible. I hope you can't sleep. And I hope that you who are listening to this will stay tuned to my channel so that when we have that March 1st demonstration, you're there with me. and that we'll show them that the people of the United States is pissed off at them. Every YouTuber that can show up, I hope you come. These people are terrible in Utah. They let every murder of citizens, it's all whitewashed. How can you believe, like Patrick Harmon, shot in the back, they say, oh, it was a good shooting because, he was a threat to everybody around him. The sidewalk was empty, idiots. That's a travesty. One of these officers, too, was in a murder of a Mexican man, and there was a guy named Cruz that shot this guy, too. He had phones in his ear. He couldn't hear his commands. But see, these guys don't give a crap. They'll find any excuse to murder you. And then they ask this guy, his name starts with an S. He's Greek. He put his nose in my business when I was down there at Salt Lake City City Hall to see the chief secretary. And he puts his face right at my camera, and I said, don't act like a dumbass. So he gets butthurt, and he pulls the secretary away. And then there's a little area you can't cross. He says, you cross that area, I'm going to arrest you. That's another dumbass. They're all tyrants. They think that they're my daddy. They're not my daddy, you dumbasses. And again, I just want to warn Troy Rawlins, John Karlinchowski, Eric Johnson, Taylor Jacobsen, Eric Ganusko, Justin Butcher, Harrison Chin, Kurt Pence, and I feel like I've forgotten one. When you guys pass away, God is going to confront you, and he's going to have your ass, and you're going to pay for this murder, for all your damn deviousness and your lies.